welcome back to the channel, you guys. My name is Claire Omutoni, and I am here to give you all the facts about Manchester United as a fan. This is one of my favorite things to actually search for or even talk about. That's the club's history. How many years ago? All right. Today we're going to choose 10 years ago. This has been one of the most dramatic years in Manchester United's modern history. Okay, that was like 2016. Okay, so if you're interested, stay tuned and please don't forget to like, subscribe to this channel because this is your channel. We are family. Please make it official by subscribing. It takes only seconds and nothing else. All right. Without further ado, let's go back to history. Actually, it's not even like a long time ago. 10 years ago is not really a long time ago when you think about it. Okay. There has been many events in United, obviously, as a big club, but I've chosen only 10 to talk to you guys about today. I'm actually excited to not talk about transfers today because every single time I talk about transfers, they get me riled up because what are you doing? You're not signing anyone. Like, we need players, okay? So the fact that we're not talking about me and you, we're not talking about transfers, it really it's it has excited me since like when I was searching for it. Now let's get into it. 10 years ago, that was 2016. That was when Jose Mourinho became the Manchester United manager. And we all know our old Mourinho. We know this guy is a joke. He is a comedian, but also he's a good manager. I feel like when he came in, when he was criticized, everyone has their own say and beliefs about someone. But I feel like he did such a great job. After Louis van Gaal was dismissed, Jose Mourinho was now appointed as United's new manager in a 3-year contract. His arrival marked the beginning of a new era after 6 years of rebuilding following Sir Alex Ferguson's retirement. And the reason why I think Mourinho was not given enough time was because he was coming to fill in big shoes. Like he was, imagine coming after Ferguson. Imagine, like you cannot even compare. The guy did what he could, and he was very funny, and people called him arrogant, but I never. So there are people in sports that I don't find arrogant. One is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. You know how like people say Zlatan is very arrogant. I don't see that as arrogancy. And Jose Mourinho, and then Haaland brought Haaland. The way he says, "Oh, I came to Manchester City because now they're now winning titles." I don't find that arrogant. Arrogant is when you say something to actually hurt someone. But I don't feel like all those people I just mentioned are arrogant. Anyways, the same year, 2016, Louis van Gaal wins FA Cup and then he was dismissed. He was dismissed. Uh, he led United to a 2-1 victory over Crystal Palace in the FA Cup final, ending the club's 12-year uh, wait for the trophy. Just 2 days later, get this. The reason why I chose this event is like he won an FA Cup. He slept. Maybe if he drinks alcohol, I don't even know. By the way, no alcohol for kids under 18. No, 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 no. We do not condone that here. And don't even, no, don't. Anyways, that was a little disclaimer. But if he drinks alcohol, maybe he was still celebrating. And then after 2 days of winning an FA Cup, he got dismissed. So they were like, you know what? You've done whatever you've done. Bye bye. There is the door. It was a crazy year, I'm telling you. And the same year, Marcus Rashford he had an incredible breakthrough because he had an injury crisis. He scored twice on his debut against Midland in the Europa League, and then two more against Arsenal. 3 days later, he instantly became the player, newest star at only 18. That's when we started hearing about this kid. This kid, but mind you, he had been in Manchester United ever since he was only 7 years. He was in Manchester United academy. Okay, this was like 2005. So that did not occur to people, but it occurred to them when he scored, you know, against Arsenal twice. All right. The same year, our star boy, Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba returned for a world record fee. Manchester United re-signed Paul Pogba from Juventus for around 89 million US dollars, making him the world's most expensive player at the time. I remember this time people were chatting online saying, "What does really Pogba has that makes him the most expensive player?" Huh? Like what does he I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed primetime Pogba, primetime Jesse Lingard, primetime because some people who are watching this show, they're like, "Oh, you're a kid." Those are the people you remember no, we remember a lot of players, but these people they brought aura, what we call aura in this generation, what the Gen Zs call aura. So that time, 10 years ago in Manchester United, Paul Pogba came in. He was signed at 89. Do you know 89 million euros that time? Imagine now, Mateus Fernandez was being like they wanted 85. But now then 10 years ago Pogba was worth 89. So you see how like people were very skeptical. They were like, what does Pogba have? It caused a lot of chaos online amongst Manchester United fans. But yeah, he came on, he gave us a show, he gave us many, 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 many good memories because Pogba was fast. Like he was a beast. He was a beast. And I cannot forget his celebrations. They were my favorite. Anyways, let's move on to another favorite of mine, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. That's when he arrived. He actually arrived in Manchester United on a free transfer. He like they didn't. He was a free agent. Okay, one of the football's biggest personalities left PSG and made an immediate impact with goals, leadership, and winning mentality. You know, he always says there is only one Zlatan. There is, there is this campaign. I'm not gonna talk about it. It's a World Cup campaign. People like there were many players running around. They were filming a campaign, and then he got a megaphone speaker, and then he was like, "Sometimes in life you have to sit and listen to Zlatan, but when it matters the most, you have to listen to yourself." Like I find it so funny. Like he's such a big man, but has a big personality. Like you don't even see that these days. All you see is angry players on court, people with like pride. But there was nothing like Prime Zlatan on pitch. Oh boy, I enjoyed those days. And moving on from Zlatan, let's move to Eric Bailey. Eric Bailey became Jose Mourinho's first signing because remember in 2016 that's when Mourinho came in to be Manchester United manager. But his first signing was Eric Bailey. He is from Ivory Coast. He's a centre back, and he joined from Villa Real and impressed during his debut season, quickly becoming one of Manchester's most reliable defenders. Because I remember his tackles clean, clean. They were very like yo. It's taking me back to like the old times when we were still young. Yeah, we're now old. See, we have like gray hairs and all. And that same year, Henrik Mkhitaryan joined from Borussia Dortmund after an adjustment period. He became one of United's most exciting attacking players. He scored memorable goals, okay, including a famous scorpion kick later that season. I don't know if I'm going to we're going to find a picture and we put it for you. The scorpion kick, people have bicycle kicks. I remember the other time I was watching France and I saw our nonchalant senior, the minister of nonchalance in ever, Michael Olise. He came out of nowhere and he's like doing bicycle kicks. I'm like, bro, relax, relax. because this guy just looks like he does not care. But when he's on pitch, he's a beast. So Mkhitaryan really came on, he did his thing, and he left. And then in 2016, we're still talking about a decade ago. That's 10 years ago. United won a Community Shield trophy with Jose Mourinho, and it was his first trophy, which immediately, the Manchester United defeated Leicester City 2-1 at Wembley. That's when Zlatan scored the winning goal, on his competitive debut. Anyone who came in contact with Zlatan, you could see fear in their faces. And I liked every bit of it. I loved it because there are these edits they also do for Zlatan, like doing some kung fu, like they edit him in a way you feel like he's a beast. The other time I was watching Rooney, we all know Rooney, our legend, and Ronaldo, R9, like we're not talking about Ronaldo CR7, we're talking about R9. The way he looks right now, he has he has eaten everything under the sun. Like this guy is no longer in form, same as Rooney. But when you see a 41-year-old Zlatan Ibrahimovic and the way he trains and the physique he still has, this guy is not going anywhere. He is not going anywhere. And let me talk about, before I leave, let me talk about, again, 10 years ago, Jose Mourinho versus Pep Guardiola. Their return on they're all like coaches who have these high emotions during like the games. Something happens, they're freaking out, they're running around, they're talking to you know referees, they're being given red cards and yellow cards. And the first Manchester derby between Jose Mourinho and Pep Guardiola took place on 10th September 2016. Manchester City won 2-1, unfortunately, at Old Trafford, in one of the most anticipated Premier League matches ever. And the reason why this game was very hyped, it was because obviously Mourinho was he was coming from Chelsea, yeah, and he was filling in the shoes of the greatest of all times. That's Sir Alex Ferguson, obviously after Louis Van Gaal and his short term. And these were two coaches who are like crazy. These coaches are crazy. Like if you're talking about a personality, like personality traits, these coaches are crazy. If they don't agree with a referee's decision, they're going to scream in your face. And some referees would just pull out a yellow card or would just ignore them. But everyone was like, okay, now Pep Guardiola and Mourinho on the same touchline. It's going to be interesting. And it was an interesting game, though we ended up losing. Yeah. Anyways, although United didn't challenge for the Premier League title in 2016, it gave supporters a renewed hope. A new world class manager, superstar signings, the emergence of Marcus Rashford, star boy by then, the return of Paul Pogba, the arrival of Zlatan Ibrahimovic, FA triumph to the end of the previous era. So I told you all this because sometimes we just tend to forget why we even support this team. We support this team because it's the greatest of all time. It has had names like, imagine saying Ronaldo, the current. If you're so wrong saying current, because they're still they're still here. Well, one is still active, another one is still like enjoying his money on the beach and buying houses and doing all this stuff, living lavishly. But imagine Ronaldo, CR7, the goat, calling Manchester his home. Well, he's spent like his prime time in Real Madrid, yeah, but Manchester is what formed him. It's what shaped him because he came in as a young boy from Nigeria. He was very like teeth crooked and all. He was very slim, slender, but with Manchester, he started building his character, his career. That's why he calls it home. So United really has had a lot of history, and I would encourage everyone to like really dive into the history if it interests you. If it doesn't, I'll bring you like bits and tits like here on this channel. So that's why you have to subscribe, because I have a lot of things to talk to you guys about. And I feel like as we progress into now, the World Cup is ending. We are now going to enter August, which is going to be the kickstart of Premier League, and then we're going to compete for Champions League. I think we're going to have an interesting season, to say the least. Well, with our zero signings, we can only hope for the best. We can only hope for God's mercy to come down and actually do the work. Because right now, and one thing before I leave, I don't even know how many times I've said before I leave, but one thing I need to tell you, we could be as fans really pressuring the administration to get new signings, okay? But the management will be like, okay, you know what? We can use the players that we have. Since the team is now in good shape, in good form, in good hands by Michael Carrick, they could be like, okay, why don't we give these players time, like playing time, and we see maybe we can buy mid-season, which would be a very, very bad decision and a risky one, because the team has to, like, they have to actually do preseason together to get, you know to know each other, to know each other's personality, because that also translates into the pitch. So I feel like we just have to sit and relax and wait for whatever they decide for us. And yeah, that's about it, really. And let me know what you want to see next. But obviously, I have things of my own. I have transfer news coming up. We have like new findings coming up. But we would like to know what you want to see from this channel. All right. I'm signing out. But before I leave, remember to subscribe. Okay. And like and comment and share.